I wanted to give a little bit of a midweek update. I am being very overwhelmed by the Evo project that we're doing. If you don't know, I do the music every year for Evo. It's the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. It is next week. We are trying to finish up this album in time. We are almost done. And man, a lot of stuff at the 11th hour, but I'm really excited for you guys to hear it. We did Run Back City last year, which was an absolute hit, and I think we got something really, really cool this year. I'm really excited to show you. But first, we got a lot of stuff going on in the world, so let's just check in on that. All right, let's start with Sketch. This is Sketch. He's a popular YouTuber and Twitch streamer. You may have seen him from those TikTok clips a few months back where people are going, "Hello, brother! Special teams, special players." I don't know the thing. I don't watch him all that much. But he is an incredibly popular Twitch streamer. He's got over 1 million followers. And a lot of people love his personality and, you know, kind of just his aloofness and the way he approaches things. Well, that all came to a head on Sunday when a YouTuber named Pocketbook posted screenshots of a secret gay OnlyFans belonging to Sketch. And then they posted a 17-minute deep dive video called The Real Sketch and the Untold Story of Jamie Marr, with the video going into detail of Sketch being an adult LGBTQ content creator. Now, Pocketbook had obviously a perfectly legitimate reason for outing somebody without their consent, because being LGBTQ is not a career ender. Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? You fucking thanks, you dipshit. This guy trying to get his clout off by outing somebody and then just being like, no, we're all good. We're all good. Shut the fuck up. But listen, Sketch met the allegations head on.
Start from the top. Look at this. Open and honest. That was me. Okay, I was dealing with some addiction problems. A couple of them. I'll tell you what. Weight lifted off my shoulders. God is good. God is good. All the time. But weight off my shoulders, to be honest. What's the plan after? The plan after was not very good. If I was alone and I was at my house, I probably wouldn't be talking to you right now. But the people at FaZe, Banks, especially, and my friends that I've made over the past couple years came in and they saved me. I'll be back streaming. I don't know. Well, I'll be back, just not in immediate, like tomorrow, probably like the day after or something.
Let's fucking go. Many people have said it. Phil has said it. People on X have said it. Sketch did nothing wrong. He's an adult. He can make those decisions. Shut the fuck up. I love how the most insufferable people on the planet have issues with another person's bodily autonomy while also being the most out-of-pocket human beings to ever exist. But the best thing about it was Sketch's reaction was met with a ton of support. If you go on TikTok right now, if you just scroll down, like literally like every 3 to 4 videos, I see a clip of his response and somebody saying this is the best way you could possibly respond to something. Like him talking about, I did not have sex with that man. Oh wait, no, I did.
I did not have sexual relations with that man. I'm just kidding. I did. Possibly. Cat's out of the bag. You have some stuff in the closet. Not... No pun intended there.
He's owning his shit, and he's also saying that he has other people with him and a support system that stood by him through all of this. He thought he was going to quit. He didn't. He stood his ground on it. That genuinely is uplifting news to me, right? That somebody can have their whole life blown up for something innocuous, and you would think that there's going to be a backlash, especially from the gaming community, which can be very, very toxic, but you have this large amount of support. But I'm not going to talk about the support right now. I'm going to talk about the other fucking idiots in this situation.
Like it was like 2 years ago, he was taking it up the ass and getting paid for it on OnlyFans. One of those genuine guys that he would have been straight up about his life. You're so brave. What the fuck did he do that's brave? What did he do? He got fucked on OnlyFans, monetized off of it, and then hid it and pretended to be a to get fame.
Hey, yo, shut the fuck up, you skinny worm ass bitch. Like you're the fucking guy. You're the guy. You're the guy who were like, oh, that's probably not the content we need to watch. You're the fucking guy to make judgments on other people. Mr. I'm going to defend cuties for the wrong reason. Mr. My fans who are 13-year-old boys come up to me and say, fuck the women. You fucking idiot. Good for Sketch. It honestly gave me a little bit of hope to see his fans supporting him. talking down the toxicity of these other idiots like Sneeko and everything like that. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, listen to me. This week has been kicking my ass. The Evo album is very hard. Like, we're at the final stretches of it, and it is a gargantuan amount of work. And the only things that are getting me through, I'm not kidding. The only things that are getting me through it are this giant ass jug of water and the sponsor of today's show, Magic Spoon. 1,000,000% this is true. Listen to me, no BS, okay? I love cereal because it is delicious. And sometimes when I'm really tired, I don't want to make a meal. I just want to make some cereal for myself, okay? And I've been tired this whole week. You've probably seen Magic Spoon at like a Target, like, right? Like, they have those bright, colorful boxes. They kind of evoke that nostalgia of like Saturday morning cartoons. Well, I got my variety pack 2 days ago, and I'm not, it is sustaining me. Okay, I've been pulling all-nighters like multiple days. Magic Spoon is a simple, zero sugar, high quality cereal that's grain-free and keto-friendly, perfect for diabetics like my mom or me, who is in the middle of a professional hurricane. It is an amazing assist. Okay, I am 85% of the way through Frosted. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. I went literally yesterday to my pantry and poured myself some in a mug because we didn't have bowls, and went to town. First off, cereal is delicious at any time. I don't know whoever that is. You know what? You should do that. Even though I'm in a professional hurricane, you do that. You're welcome. Get this and do that. It's amazing. And it is amazing for weight loss and everything because it's loaded with like 13 to 14 grams of protein. And if you want to try it out right now, you can go to magicspoon.com/Zed, enter in the code Zed, and get $5 off a variety pack like right now. And the best part about it is Magic Spoon is 100% happiness guarantee, which is they're going to give you your money back if you don't like it, but you will like it because, like me, it will keep your sanity through the most hectic part of your year. I'm okay. All right, I know you're worried. I know you're worried. This worried me this morning. But yeah, I'm okay. This is part of why I'm okay. Listen, if you like cereal, you want a grain-free option, and you want to also support this really cool show that we got to bring you guys and work so hard on, go to magicspoon.com/Zed, enter in the code Zed, and get yourself a boost. All right, back to Zed Talks. I'm sending that one in. Let's see if they. Okay, we had a previous version of the story in this video, but now I'm re-recording it entirely because this shit is changing so fucking fast. Let's talk about Joe Biden. Oh, I'm sure you haven't heard enough about him. Joe Biden has obviously been having some severe issues with his campaign over the last few weeks. Far more senators and Democratic officials have called for him to drop out. Nancy Pelosi pretty much fucking threw hands by saying, hey, he needs to decide after he sent a fucking letter saying, oh, I've decided. That's her way of saying, no, you didn't. Not to mention, and if it wasn't clear before, I should have made it clear in the other episodes. Yes, the media is making this a little bit of a circus. Phil highlighted in his episode one very, very glaring clip where the media deliberately misrepresented a senator's quote. The other day, I was looking at Google News and I found 4 different articles published within an hour of each other. How Biden staved off the rebellion, to Biden nearing dropout as support completely collapses, to why Democratic officials turned on Biden, to Biden seems to have finally made it out. He's the nominee. Like, can we make up our fucking minds? All of this to say, this is an active situation, right? Everybody can have opinions about where the thing is turning, but I'm trying to look at what looks more likely, what looks more unlikely, but take everything with a grain of salt, even me. There's no clear-cut path that is certain to lose or win the presidency right now. And I'll get to that a little bit later in this story. But for right now, let's just talk about this press conference, what it meant and how it was. And let's be clear, this big boy press conference, which was named so shittily, but is so vitally important in this news cycle, had all of the hopes of a comeback or stopping the bleeding pinned on it. And because of the outsized importance, you know, some people are just not going to be convinced no matter what happens in this press conference. In order for Biden to really stem the bleeding and make the comeback he needs to make, he needs to show energy. He needs to fully say, like, listen, I get what's going on, but push back on the fact that he's lost the plot. And let's look at this in a nuanced way. Sincerely, the press conference did start out strong. Biden's prepared remarks, yes, they were prepared, were still filled with energy, still filled with a lot of confidence and assertiveness about the state of NATO, about the fight against Russia, about how his foreign policy has a significant upside versus Trump's if he is elected. But even during those prepared remarks, you can tell he's kind of nervous and a little bit angry that it's come to this. He also talked about inflation going down, which was reported yesterday. It's very, very good news. He talked about the economic report. He talked about the southern border. I mean, he was giving a lot of campaign, He also brought up the Israel-Hamas ceasefire, which I don't think was a very good decision because even though those talks are ongoing, people in Gaza are still dying. There are still significant atrocities being committed. And when you have people like Amy Schumer going, actually the Gaza thing's pretty bad. Yeah, the really, really terrible what's going on there. I think maybe touting your effect on that conflict is not the best idea. But we're not here to just talk about NATO. We're here to talk about Biden and him staying in this race or not. And within the first question, we had an immediate fucking drop.
What concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
Okay, listen. I understand that Donald Trump mixes up everyone all the time. I understand that he has significant issues with just having a brain. He's more cheese than man at this point. But I have to tell you, it is shocking how much Biden does not correct his one fatal or even look out for this fatal flaw. He did it earlier in the day when he accidentally confused, and this is true, Putin with Zelensky while introducing Zelensky, but he saved it. He came back and made a joke. Oh, no, this guy's going to beat Putin. No, that's not what I'm saying. And that was affable. That was lovely. He did not even notice he made the flub. And now, listen, I don't think he actually confused Kamala Harris with Trump, but I cannot emphasize this enough. I know we want to talk about substantive issues, but we cannot ignore that part of even trying to get this job is playing the marketing game. Much of the presidency is a marketing game. It's the bully pulpit. It's moving the messaging of your audience and your constituents who got you into office to such a large degree that other forces that would want to keep you out have to back down. And making flubs like that is not a projection of that. Obviously, Biden has strength, and throughout this press conference, there were multiple times where he was very substantive. He answered questions in excruciating detail. He was very, very zeroed in on what people were doing, and he was very engaged throughout the entire thing. But as the conference wore on, it felt like he was getting more and more tired. Not to mention, he was using pretty basic, fundamental talking points about staying in the race. And look, again, Biden as a generic politician is a very good, talented generic politician. It's great even, right? He's a solid, if there was a politician fighting game, Biden would be a solid choice, all right? He may not be the best in this version of the game, but you can win a tournament with him. At the same time, his design is still really old. So a lot of those fucking talking points weren't landing. They came off combative, especially when he said,
"We've never been here before." And that's the other reason why you say, hand off to another generation. I've got to finish this job. I've got to finish this job.
That is a terrible argument to make because it fails to recognize the reality that the younger generation are going to have trouble if this election does not work out. That is a terrible fucking argument. Again, I am not advocating for Biden to drop out of the race. I'm just stating that the argument is bad. There are many other arguments he could have made in that distinction. I mean, during his speech, he made plenty about NATO, about foreign policy. And again, if you're saying, oh, well, he already said that, listen, Biden repeated himself multiple times. He could have very easily repeated one of those talking points as well. There are legitimate reasons for Biden to stay in the race, but he's not engaging with the reality of the situation where, listen, a lot of people are worried. Okay, well, maybe I'll take that back, right? He is understanding that they are worried. And one thing that he did say is that he wanted to allay people's fears. One thing about this press conference that was noteworthy is that Biden has changed his language significantly from the Stephanopoulos interview. He knows it went badly. He went out of his way to say Kamala Harris was qualified to be president, all right? He went out of his way to say, listen, I understand people are afraid. I think I'm the most qualified. If the delegates want to vote for somebody else, they can vote for somebody else. He actually said that.
Tomorrow, if all of a sudden I show up at the convention, everybody says we want somebody else, that's the democratic process. It's not going to happen.
Even if that means they vote for someone else?
Sure. Look.
He also cut the, if God comes down and tells me not to run, I won't run bullshit out of his vocabulary. And he said, listen,
Would fare better against former President Donald Trump. Would you reconsider your decision to stay in the race?
No, unless they came back and said, there's no way you can win.
if people come up and tell me that there's no chance of me winning, I will drop out. Again, look at the trend line. That is so significantly different to where we were literally a week ago. But so many lines like the worry of foreign leaders about him winning the election or not, all that folksy shit fell on deaf ears. There was one moment, though, where Biden was just killing it.
More children are killed by a bullet than any other cause of death. The United States of America. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing? We got a candidate saying, promise the NRA, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything.
And that's it. That's the thing. Here's the thing. If Biden is that for all 60 minutes, he wins this. He could have won. If he was that at the debate, oh man. Do you know what conversation we would be having right now? It would be, why were we even talking about Joe Biden's decline when Donald Trump really is the old man? The story that everybody wants you to focus on Donald Trump, that would be happening because that moment he was charismatic. Yes, he has significant issues with multiple things, but everybody in my comments will probably tell you that. But that's a strong punch from him. And look, at the end of the press conference, another Democrat came out asking for him to step down. And this is all I'm going to say right now about where we are in this race. Obviously, right now, people are arguing whether Biden should stay in or drop out, whether he is doing this for his ego or for the actual country. I think gaslighting people into not having this conversation is fundamentally fucked up and undemocratic. Before you say anything, this is the exact thing we criticized Trump for, because the entire apparatus around him said, why are you fucking talking shit? Just back the nominee. And I understand the idea that, listen, you don't want to hurt Biden right now because this is a very important election. We've said it a million times. We know democracy's on the line. Donald Trump is a fucking demagogue, asshole, piece of shit human being. We know. That's why we're having the conversation. I think gaslighting people like that is unhelpful. I also think it's unhelpful to gaslight people into thinking that dropping Biden is the only option and that everything is dead and it's scorched earth everywhere. And I say that because people continuously cite polling as the reason for that. It's not remotely true. Everybody who is an expert in polling has said Biden is behind. And yes, his chances are not great if we go into the general the way we are now. But all of them say, look, there are fundamental changes that need to be made in this campaign, and Biden still has a chance. All I hear in this debate is people saying you're giving away the race by dropping Biden, or you're giving away the race by sticking with him. Not there is a chance, but it's slim if you stick with him, or we have a bunch of opportunities and it's messy if you drop him. That's the actual conversation. I think surrogates need to shut up. Like, look, I also don't think it's a both sides issue. I do have a personal opinion about what side I think is more probable and better. You may even guess it, but I'm not going to fucking tell you, because if I hinted that, a bunch of people are like, well, don't tell me how to vote, and then get mad. If you really are worried about another Trump presidency, if you really do hate this duopoly that much, then the best way to fight a very fucked up system is to have a reasonable conversation about how to fix it that is not mired in propaganda and politics. All right, here's the facts. Joe Biden's old. He's not doing a great job at campaigning. He has moments where he's really, really strong, and there are significant advantages he has over Donald Trump. There are also significant weaknesses that have become more present over the last 4 to 6 months. The media cycle is very much so against him. He is an underdog going into this general election, like every president who has lost a general election. He is also not a giant mess that would be finding another candidate. There are also a lot of opportunities of going with somebody like Kamala Harris or like Gavin, maybe not Gavin Newsom, but there are a lot of opportunities with Kamala Harris. She is polling better than him reasonably right now. I just want us to talk about this issue in a way that is not mired in this culture war ball. That's what I fucking hate. I hate when all this shit gets mired in propaganda and talking points. It's a serious question. Like, thank God we're having this conversation instead of just pretending it's not happening. People say this is a fight for democracy and for the fate of our country. If it's a fight, fights are not supposed to be these comfortable things where you sit in your chair and you're like, oh, great, I want to fight. Fights are tense, man. Have you ever played a game of Street Fighter? All right? Have you ever had like 1 pixel of health in Street Fighter? It's really fucking hard. But when you lock in, you know how to make things work. So lock in. Figure out what's going on. Be practical with this. And let's have a conversation that is substantive about Biden and his candidacy that is meant to help everyone involved and not just be this anxious nail-biting competition. All right? That's what I'm trying to say. I am sure I will be misconstrued everywhere, but I just want to let you know that I love you and I don't want to upset you right now, okay? We can all go have coffee and yell about what we want to happen.